Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. That's a verse I often think of and I often bring up because there's so many different interpretations of just about everything in this world, including the Bible and what Scripture means. But the more you spend in it, the greater discernment you'll have. And at the end of the day, there's often times when you read multiple passages and they seem to contradict one another, but in reality, they don't. There's a synchronicity that is just divine, and that's why we are to trust in the Lord. And I bring this up because there's so many things that seem right in this world. Like, they definitely seem right in contrast to things that are clearly wrong. We have two bad choices, really. And oftentimes it's justified to take one side because it's less bad or less evil than the other side. You know, I saw a Charles Spurgeon quote, and I want to do it right. He said, "Discernment is not knowing the difference between right and wrong. It's knowing the difference between right and almost right." And there's a lot of almost right. And the thing is, a lot of that almost right is intentionally almost right, because the only right way for anything is to live for others the way Jesus did when God took on human form and walked in this world among us. And, you know, we got another assassination attempt. That's the headlines. Somebody snuck on a golf course, was hiding in a bush. Secret Service saw him. And they continually want to make people that support Donald Trump, which is largely conservative and Christian voters, they want to antagonize them and provoke them into a response. Now, if you've listened to me enough, you know that I think that both sides are equally corrupt. One side is just wickedly worse. It's the pagans versus the Pharisees, the Romans versus the Pharisees. And if you're on the side of the pagans, their lifestyle is clearly anti-Christ. But when the right is very virtuous and self-righteous and prideful and condemning to those who have been deceived by the powers in this world into living wicked lifestyles because they don't know any better, when they are shamed and condemned, there's no grace. There's no grace. It's all revenge-minded. It's all cancel culture-minded. It's all division and hate-minded in this world. Both sides. So it's not right and almost right, or wrong and right, or wrong and almost right. Or it is any of those things. Take your pick. But we need to be right. So if you want to go through the voting process, do all those things as we come up on another election, as they want people to hate Trump, but more importantly, they want people to hate everyone who shows any type of support for Trump. And I think that's where the bigger trap is in understanding why the right versus almost right, or wrong versus almost right trap is always going to be there. If you're not constantly planting seeds for the kingdom, pointing people to Christ, you are going to accept that almost right because it's better than wicked. But at the end of the day, all of our works are filthy rags in the eyes of the Lord. All of us are sinners. All of us fall short. So there needs to be an awareness of that, and an awareness that the principalities and powers in this world are well aware of that, and they will take advantage of people's prideful nature to think that they are doing good by going for the lesser of two evils. But it's all the same if you're not pointing people to Christ. So whatever else is going on, I'm preaching to the choir. I hope, if you're a believer watching this, if you're not, seek Christ today. That's the only place to go, and it's the middle ground. The world wants us divided on opposite ends of a spectrum, and they want to make as many spectrums as possible. But Jesus Christ flipped the tables on spectrums. He said you can have a relationship with your Creator, with God, through me, the Messiah, Jesus Christ, who died for the sins of the entire world for those who believe. It's that simple. The world makes it difficult. It doesn't need to be. Seek Christ today and know the difference between right and wrong. The only thing that's right and good is God and Jesus Christ. God bless you. See you tomorrow.